Guys, it's Eric Connor from Nerdy Geek Talks. First of all, your nerdy geeky needs. Here with a special New York Comic Con 2019 episode of Steel City Bots. Joining me tonight, we have Miguel. Miguel, how are you?
Good. Excited. Tired.
Yes. So, if you didn't know from our Twitter and such, Miguel did actually get to go to New York Comic Con and help out with our bud Ant from TFU.info with coverage and stuff. And we got to post some of the stuff as well to our social media. So, if you aren't following us on Twitter and Instagram at Steel City Bots, definitely go do that. And also go follow at TFU_info on Twitter and Instagram for lots of stuff from there. Because yeah, that's cool. It's awesome. But we will talk about that shortly, since that is what we're here to discuss, is all the stuff from New York Comic Con. Also tonight we have Jared. How are you doing, Jared?
Doing good. Tired, but doing good.
I feel that. And Michael, how are you tonight?
I am good.
That's good.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little tired. I have a lot of stuff to do, but it's okay.
Yep.
But yeah, so before we dive into New York Comic Con, talking about that, we'll give Miguel the reins. Michael, what is our history lesson for the week?
Our history lesson for today, October 8th. In 2007, the Transformers live-action movie ends its U.S. theatrical run, having grossed $310 million, not including the IMAX take. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I just figured
Mm-hmm.
today was the last day in the theaters 12 years ago.
Interesting. That's cool.
12 years ago.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's very crazy. But yeah.
Yes.
So, with that out of the way, Miguel, do you want to give a run? Do you want to just talk about? How do you want to do this? Do you want to just talk about your experience, like from beginning to end, or?
Sure. I'll try not to get too into the weeds.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ant was invited to cover the Hasbro fan media events at or near New York Comic Con. Hasbro doesn't actually have a presence on the main show floor aside from, or that they control outright. They did have the interview with Sci-Fi Wire, and there was Unicron was present at one of the booths. The name escapes me right now as far as who it was. Don't know if it was the Reed Pop booth, or someone else. But aside from those two, and then Entertainment Earth having first run of selling Hotshot and Chromar from Generation Selects, Hasbro doesn't do anything actually at the Jacob Javits Center in New York City. They had an off-site venue at it was a WeWork space. Mm-hmm. That they invited us to. Ant, after covering Toy Fair, felt that he needed some extra help. He had reached out to us and everything. It was decided, since I'm the closest, I would go and help him out. So I met him early on Thursday morning, and there were two events. There was in the afternoon, we had a 1 hour slot to see the new reveals and everything. They set up a diorama of Earthrise. That's what everyone saw. Ant from Ant's Twitter, tfu.info, along with all the other fan media present, taking pictures and just providing information for those Earthrise reveals, which we'll talk about later. And in the morning, we actually we were invited for a an unboxing event. It was a smaller group than what was available in the afternoon, and there was talk of whether or not we were opening the last wave of Siege or the first wave of Earthrise. It wasn't until a bit later in that morning before we actually went in that when some people started mentioning, oh, well, Earthrise Wave 1 isn't coming out till March, that I started thinking, we're probably opening Siege Wave 5, which we ended up doing. So we got to check out Battlemasters, Rung, and Singe, Micromasters, Power Punch, and Direct Hit, along with the 2-pack of Rumble, the red one, and Ratbat, Deluxe's Crosshairs and Spinister, Voyager 8-Face, and Leader Astro Train. We were given about an hour and a half to go through and kind of open, play with, take photos, video, what have you, and also ask questions to the Hasbro staff who were present. Ben Montana was the main presence during this time, answering questions and everything. And it was fun. There was a lot of in a sense kind of divide and conquer. Most people brought some help, so there were Ant and I specifically had sort of a setup where it's like, okay, as time went on and we were running out of time to cover everything, it's like, okay, you transform this one, I'll keep it in bot mode, and then take pictures and everything, and set up this whole like scene almost coming out of like one of the toy catalogs where we had like one of each figure doing something. So we had like Spinister in copter mode, like flying overhead, and then you had him in robot mode holding Singe, like firing off against like Rung or something. So that took up most of the morning before running over to New York Comic Con. The one thing that was nice, and I'll preface this here, is that Hasbro did allow us to take home the toys that we were opening. This was kind of a thing that they didn't plan on doing, so it was a surprise to us as much as it was a surprise to them, almost, where Ben Montana left the room and then came back in and was kind of like, hey guys, you can keep the toys, and we were all just there was a moment of pause. We were all like, what? Really? This is something that they apparently haven't done in the past, and I have a feeling they won't do going forward either. It was just kind of the circumstances of the event and everything. They're just like, we really didn't plan for it, but yeah, you guys can keep them. We then made our way to the Jacob Javits Center for the Sci-Fi Wire panel interview where we saw the first official first glimpse of Earthrise Starscream, along with what will most likely be the headmaster component of Titan Scorponok at the end of next year. We stayed on the show floor for a little bit and then made it back to the Earthrise full like reveal session with Hasbro, along with the deluxes from Cyberverse and the new mercenary cards for the TCG, which, based off of the press releases that were released, mercenaries will be featured in Earthrise. They are debuting in Siege 2 for the card game, and then will be in the toy line for Earthrise. That was a lot of fun covering that. Ant did the live stream, which you can check out on his YouTube channel, TFU Info, I believe. Is that right?
I think so. If not, it's underscore in between, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. And then I was the one manning the Twitter account, tweeting out and pictures and information as I heard it. That hour blew by incredibly fast. And then also saw Diecast there. Diecast was also there tweeting stuff out. It was fun when he caught a glimpse of me, because he was just like, oh, you got Miguel in here too? No, it was a blast. Then we went, Ant and I actually went back to New York Comic Con just to kind of do one last pass try to see what either exclusives we could pick up or anything. We did not manage to get into the Entertainment Earth line because it was so packed. We did check out Unicron in person. Pictures do not do Unicron justice as far as his size. He is the size of my upper torso. Like, half of me is what he is. So it helps, I guess, Eric and Michael kind of figure out how massive the thing is.
Oh boy.
Quite
I have no idea where I'm going to be placing that instead of a gun whenever he gets.
And then the slugs of Galvatron and Hot Rod are minuscule, like the size of the tip of a pen. To borrow a phrase that Ant used on a show he was on, explaining the stuff he saw. They are so tiny, it's difficult to make out any details in person of what they are. But Unicron was massive. And update for those who may not be aware, Unicron was successfully funded with about 11,200 supporters at the final tally. I believe that's what the final round that's the final tally. So and then today was actually the day that they were.
Well, it's hard to tell what the actual number was because they took down the number.
It's if you look into if you look in the code of the page, you can find it.
Well, when I loaded the page, it said that it was 286%.
It's the percentage that's being generated on the actual page is doubling the percentage.
Okay, I gotcha.
So it's about 140, which is around that 11,200 or so, or I forget what's the. So there's a lot of people on Twitter who had the exact numbers. But it in the end, I think having it on the show floor at New York Comic Con did help them tremendously because there were so many people, and that booth kept, like, when I was there were so many people walking by and just being like, whoa. A lot of people who also did not know about the crowdfund. Like, I was there, and I probably gave the same sort of pitch, just like saying what information I knew to like 4 different people in the couple of minutes I was there, looking at the thing. So that really wraps up, like, gives you like a sort of overview of the day that I had. Again, like, shouts out to the people at Hasbro who for putting on the event and everything. And Ant for having me tag along. It was a lot of fun. I met a lot of people. Benny from BWTF.com, Monzo from the TF Wiki, Steve, who's on Twitter. I don't remember his Twitter at the moment.
Eat from accounting?
Yeah. No. We find it's hard to see. Normally, it's easy. It's Soundwave919 on Twitter. If you want to go follow him, he was also there that day. Our Twitter and our Steel City Bots Twitter at Steel City Bots and my Twitter at Logos Minor have both been rife with activity and lots of notifications in the past few days because of all of the pictures that we have up of Siege Wave 5. So if you go to at Steel City Bots, you can check out all of the first-hand coverage of Siege Wave 5, which we posted yesterday at the time of this recording, October 7th, 2019. It was yesterday. It's October 8th today. We have pictures up of all of the different figures that I mentioned, along with some additional pictures from this morning of Omega Supreme, because I got that. Spoilers for what we got. So I don't know if Like, is there anything that I haven't covered specifically that you guys might have questions on for Wave 5 that we may want to relay to the listeners, or
Do you want to
How
talk
do we
about the
have to
packaging situation for Astrotrain?
Oh, well, this was something that was revealed later in the day, but oh wait, actually wait, what are you talking about? The fact that he's getting repacked, or what happened to me on the show floor?
I meant the repacking.
Okay. They're they're both they're both packaging situations, but one of the things that was mentioned during the Earthrise reveal event is that Wave 1 of Earthrise will feature the Optimus Prime that they revealed, along with Siege Astrotrain. He will be repackaged, straight repackaged, no deco changes. So they're not going to get rid of the battle damage or anything. Or at least no intentional deco changes. Who knows if, like, between the runs, like, something happens and it's like, oh, this one has, like pink thighs or something. But he will be repackaged, and the intention is for him to, or like the thinking at Hasbro's end is that he serves as sort of a transition figure between the two lines. The airlock system, that new peg and port system that they have for the base modes, Astro Train and Omega Supreme both have those. Omega is compatible with both the airlock system and the system from Titan's Return. If you go to our Twitter account, you'll see some pictures showcasing that. But most of the figures in Earthrise have compatibility with those. The tagline they're using is like, build the ultimate battlefield. So this continued sense of like building up these giant like battle scenes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Spinister, if I just want to, Spinister's probably the best one of the wave. Probably one of the best figures in the line. Honestly, Spinister's so good.
Mhm.
I'm so jealous. I'm just so jealous. Oh gosh. Oh, it looks so good.
So, I just want to double check. I feel like the answer is no. But you didn't see any packaging for Earthrise, correct?
No, we all we saw for Earthrise was the figures in the diorama as everyone else saw them. Like they just had the loose samples of figures. So like two of most figures, 3 wheeljacks, and then like 100 sound barriers.
Yep. That's how many everyone's going to get. Also, apparently from the official listings, Smashdown's also going to be a repack in the first.
Smashdown. BBTS actually has. They didn't have the leaders up as a case, but they did have or at least I'm pretty sure they had the Battle Masters, because that's where I saw that. Smashdown is also going to be repackaged, and be the wave mate for Sound Barrier.
So, and you don't know anything else about the universe map that they talked about?
If anyone asked about the map, I wasn't. If anyone asked about the map, I wasn't present, or I wasn't paying attention. There wasn't a lot of time to take photos and like cover everything that was in the diorama, along with asking questions about everything we knew from like the earlier press releases and whatnot. So unfortunately, I have no clue.
All good. I just wanted to double check just in case, because at the moment is to hold off on Astro Train until that wave until the first wave of Earthrise. in case he does, in fact, have a unique piece to complete the map.
That would be so annoying if
Oh
he comes.
shoot! I didn't even
Oh,
think
yeah.
about that.
Yep.
I mean, at least for me, that just means that I can also wait because I didn't pay for the Astro Train that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Well, at the same time, who knows? Because I got rid of. Because no, I have I have the box. Let me look in the box later, see if they snuck in a piece of the map. I doubt they did.
Yeah. Because there would have also been a red decoder with it.
And who knows, maybe the Astro Train for Earthrise will do the same thing that the first, or that Siege Shockwave has been doing lately, which is just staying on shelves.
Oh,
So-
the fact that they're re-releasing, they're doing a straight re-release. I have no, and I kept telling this to people because on our Twitter account we have a side by side of Astro Train next to Titan's Return Astro Train. Leader Astro Train is much shorter, but is one much more complex, and two much thicker than the Titan's Return figure. But a lot of people are complaining about the fact that he is shorter. Or that much shorter. I am one of them. When I stood them side by side, I couldn't believe that the leader was that much shorter. And I kept saying, he's going to be plentiful because while he's at the end of this line, he's at the beginning of the next line. Wave 1 blows up everywhere. You're going to get sick of seeing Astro Train.
Yeah.
So the other thing is he's also probably going to go on sale a bunch.
Yes.
Most likely.
Woo. Just gotta be patient.
We don't have show notes for this week, so where do we move next?
I guess we can all just talk about. So we should break down all the reveals and our thoughts on them. Is what I was thinking. So, do we want to do Earthrise first, or do we want to get Cyberverse out of the way because there's no BotBots news to talk about yet, other than the fact they did say to wait till London, not that there's nothing else.
Right, London, because this was asked. London Comic Con is where we'll hear news on the BotBots.
Yes.
I believe Ben Montano specifically said Series 4.
Ooh.
So that if he did, then that soft confirms that Series 4 will be coming out, or like there is a Series 4 to come out.
Yes.
But he did say, like, stay tuned for that, so something BotBots will continue. The other thing that was asked was about HasCon, and while they could not comment on anything HasCon related, they did acknowledge that the shipping cases for some of the more recent exclusives, like the Refractor 3-pack, they acknowledged that it did indeed say HasCon on its shipping cases.
Yeah.
So make that of what you will as far as like its original origins and everything.
Yeah.
I say we talk about the Cyberverse stuff, since that is the most, I would say, the most surprising, along with the TCG stuff, which we probably won't really cover, since aside from the fact that mercenaries are a faction now.
And who the mercenaries are, as we could potentially see them in Earthrise.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they will be in Earthrise. That's something specifically called out in the press releases for.
Well, but does that mean Earthrise the card game or Earthrise?
No,
the
no, Earthrise the press releases were for the Earthrise toys.
Yeah.
There's no Earthrise wave of the cards.
Oh,
No.
okay.
But my question is, would all of them be made?
Oh, I doubt most, if any. I doubt most of the cards we saw will be made. At the very least, I feel like Detritus will be a Generation Selects figure.
Yeah.
They were very consistent on, aside from one of the cards, on the color scheme that Detritus has, and he is using the Siege Hound mold.
Yeah. That makes sense. As he
And then I don't know if retroactively Nightbird will be deemed a mercenary since she is in the card game.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I guess while we're here, who else was it? It was
Cybertron Mudflap,
which was a surprise.
very, very surprising. Detritus, Lockdown, Deadlock, Octane or Octone,
And Nightbird, right?
and Nightbird. Yeah, okay,
That's just those 6.
Yeah, those 6, and then a bunch of battle cards were also revealed. Which at this point, there's the full high res art for all of that for the cards has been released. So and that's coming out next month. That's all for Siege 2 Wave 4 of the TCG, which they had a sealed booster box there, just on the table. I'm kind of annoyed now that like I didn't ask, just even like tongue in cheek. Can we take that? Because at some point people were just asking if they could take things. Like someone got one of the Unicron posters that they had.
Oh,
Just
damn.
from asking.
Huh.
Or just be like, oh, we can take something. I'm gonna take that.
I feel,
And then
No, I
never
would just
get
take
eaten by-
anything I wanted. I would have taken Cliff Jumper.
Yeah.
yeah. No, I only want to say one more thing before moving on from the Siege, because that's not too much. I hope we get a Cybertron Mudflap in Earthrise.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
Either that or like a
Say the
play-tool.
most likely way I would see it is as a recolor of Grapple, and I would not be mad.
Now, do him as his own mold. Then you do the Selects figure that is also Mudflap, but it's movie Toys R Us exclusive Mudflap.
True.
And then Takara Generation Selects will do a Signal Lancer.
I
And
would
then you
love that to happen. I would
and
love
then get ready to pay $80 for a Generation Signal Lancer.
for a Voyager-sized stoplight that's somehow going to be able to support its own weight on that post or something.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, if we want to move right along, one of the more surprising reveals, along with the Siege 2 cards, was a new size class for Transformer Cyberverse. They had the first wave of Cyberverse Deluxes, Bumblebee, Optimus, Megatron, and Shockwave, who will be coming with each come with one part of a Build-A-Figure between waves 1 and 2, so 8 pieces in total of McAdams from Cyberverse Season 1.
I do find it a shame that McAdam isn't transformable or like a weapon, because I feel like a weaponizer would be perfect for him in particular. But
Right, he seems to be put together primarily by ball joints. They did say that this is something that they wanted to test out, which, just kind of reading between the lines, they a lot of the times in the more kid-friendly gimmicky lines is where they test things out that they will eventually port over to the other lines. So who knows that this is something they may want to test in future use for generations.
Interesting.
I
mean, out of all of them, it makes sense for McAdam, since like he does look like he has like a vehicle mode, but the only one we saw in the cartoon we didn't even really see, and we just know it's some form of giant gear monstrosity.
Shit.
So if they continue doing Build-A-Figures in the deluxe line, I would also not be mad if they did Wreck and Ruin this way.
I feel like if they have more waves after the following wave that has the rest of McAdam, that is 100% who they'd go for.
Yeah, because he's so weird. We haven't seen a vehicle mode for him, and most fiction that has Wreck and Ruin tends to be like, oh, hey, they were separate, but now they're conjoined to save their lives, but they can no longer transform.
Mm-hmm.
So we need that Wreck and Ruin love that somehow got into a TV show before Impactor.
Which is just mind-boggling.
Yep.
Speaking of Impactor, I really want that 3-pack to come out soon. But anyways, side note.
Well,
Out of the Warriors, what is everyone's? I mean, not the Warriors. They're specifically not Warriors. Out of the deluxes, what is everyone's favorite? Also, do we know if the Warrior price point's continuing?
We at the time, at least for that from what I'm aware, I don't know that anyone asked any information as far as like the future plans of the Cyberverse line. It was more just kind of confirming that those are indeed deluxes and not warriors, because that was just set off the cuff. It's like, oh, these are deluxes. It's like, you mean warriors? No, this is a new size class. It's like, what?
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, all we know is that the deluxes are coming, and there's 2 waves. There's at the very least 2 waves of them.
Mm-hmm. The second wave gets canceled, and we only have half the pieces to McAdam.
Oh,
And not even his head. I think it's like there's an image that shows which pieces.
It's weird though because I counted the parts and he's actually in 10 pieces.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Miguel said
So
that it was 8.
my assumption is that a couple of the parts will come in 2s.
I think his hand and the arm that has his weapon will probably come as 1 piece. It's between eight deluxes. That's at the most what I can.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Infer. All right, so yeah, it's
It feels like it should come with something else. Maybe the lower torso, since it's not coming with the upper torso. If I remember correctly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, how do you count?
Oh
2,
shoot!
3, 4.
I just accidentally bought a Punisher War Machine helmet.
1. What do you mean accidentally?
Like it was in my cart from earlier, apparently. Like I'd been looking at it, but I wasn't actually going to buy it at full price. I was going to wait for it to go on sale, but I just paid $100 for it. I'm like not mad, but I'm also like I didn't mean to do that and probably should not have. What I was actually doing was I was getting a couple other things that were on sale. That wasn't on sale. That was definitely left over in my cart from a previous time. I was pre-ordering Unicron through Big Bad Toy Store. Because if Hasbro Pulse would have taken PayPal credit, or PayPal, I mean just period, because I've been making sales. I would have paid through PayPal and paid the full amount up front, but they don't have that, so I paid the deposit for Big Bad Toy Store, and I'll get to pay the rest of it whenever it comes out in a year and a half. So, yay!
So my guess is that because wave 1 of Cyberverse Deluxes are going to come with the 2 pieces of McAdam's, or McAdam is what they're calling him, McAdam's possessive torso, his forearm, one of his forearms, and his leg.
Hey,
So my guess is
a Transformers Instagram account with 12,000 followers corrected their Astro Train picture that they posted to properly credit Steel City Bots, which is really you, but
Can you send that link so I can see it?
here I'll send it to the. You're in the Instagram group, right?
Yeah. And then the other wave will have probably you get one figure that has his leg, one figure that has the other forearm and his hammer, and then 2 figures that only come with his shoulders, one of each.
But then
Actually, no, because then his head. Okay, so
And-
one figure
what-
brings 2 shoulders, and then one gets his head.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't his chest in 2 parts?
That's what I thought.
His chest is so the chest is 2 figures. The one forearm for wave 1 is another figure, and then his leg. So that's 4.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize. I thought I misremembered. I thought one of the parts of the chest wasn't coming out.
Yeah, me
No,
too.
no. Seems from the image I'm looking at, wave 1 seems to come with both pieces of the chest.
Okay.
if you buy all of Wave 1, you'll be able to form his chest and connect one of the legs, and then you'll have a free-floating
Forearm.
forearm.
So that leaves a head, 2 biceps, a forearm, and another leg, though, doesn't it? So doesn't
Yeah.
that 5 pieces left?
Well, technically, head, 2 biceps, forearm, hammer, leg.
So it is 10 pieces.
It is 10 pieces. My assumption is the other forearm and the hammer are coming together, and then the 2 biceps are coming with one figure.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Or the head and the hammer are coming with one
I
figure.
feel like it would be the head and the hammer
Since
if
the one-
the one
yeah.
forearm was just by itself.
So yeah, head hammer, and then like you get I think the thing that aggravates me the most is that you get a figure that only comes with biceps, or a bicep.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
But hey, at the very least, these are not figures we're going to be mad about getting, it seems, to complete McAdam.
No, I mean, all of them look fantastic. I think Bumblebee's probably the winner, but they're all really good.
They're all really good.
Yeah.
Honestly, like Shockwave, like still looks really good. But he's just an ever so slightly improved warrior.
Yeah. With a gun.
Yeah.
And they also have the blast effects.
Yes, and they have
Mhm.
blast effects, and I looked through the photos because at first I thought they didn't have the battle ports, the blast ports, whatever's. But there's at least a couple of them
Mm-hmm.
across the body. Like I know Bumblebee has like one on his one leg at the very least, so they will also come with that. So that's very nice. We're getting a very nice package for the Cyberverse Deluxes. It sounds like.
Yeah. It does seem like it.
Yeah. And honestly, I wish the Siege figures came with at least one special blast effect part for each figure.
Same, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Because like there's so few, unless you buy like multiple battle masters, you only have such limited effect parts.
Yeah.
And then like what are you going to use for the fusion cannon on Megatron? You're not just going to use any random blast effect part, or you wouldn't want to at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm rambling. I'm rambling.
Yeah.
It's not my show, it's Miguel's show.
Apparently.
Wait, so who is Bumblebee? Who's everyone's favorite?
Bumblebee.
I'd go with Bumblebee with probably Shockwave as a close second.
Mm-hmm.
Bumblebee, and then my runner-up is Megatron's fusion cannon effect part.
I thought I'm not gonna lie, I was wondering if anyone else was like, oh wow, by that as much as I was too.
No, I'm so happy. Like I'm gonna buy the figure, take the fusion cannon effect part, give it to
Put on
Siege Megatron, and be
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like wow, I didn't expect it to be like a perfect.
Especially because I was eyeing, there was I won't mention the person, the person, just because there was one person who was doing reproductions of the Siege effect parts and like casting them in different colors, but then I saw at least one post where it was like kind of poo-pooing the QC of them. I almost opted in though because he casted Jetfire's flame bits in purple.
Ooh.
But then seeing some of the stuff, I'm like, I don't know if I want to like dip the money. And then he also kind of like went on hiatus for a bit because of the fact that people were poo-pooing him.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically on my website. But then when I saw the Megatron, I was just like, oh, okay, I don't have to go look for like reproduction nonsense. I can just like get the official stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But seeing them in firsthand, all of them looked really good. They gave off, and I know pre-show we meant the mention was like they felt very much like Prime, or kind of harken back to the last main line that we had that kind of did more complex stuff, which was Primar ID. Honestly, seeing them in person, they gave off an animated vibe, which was very, and they gave off a combination of animated and Prime First Edition. Honestly, as far as like my reaction to seeing them in person, as far as quality, who knows? Like we'll mess with them and they'll probably be garbage. We really won't. We may. They may be. Not probably. They may be garbage. Yeah. We'll find out when they come out. Mm-hmm. Like no. They looked really good though. I was very impressed with what I saw. McAdam at first, I was just like, I don't understand what he transforms into, and then it's like, oh, he's a Build-A-Figure. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It was also funny because when we asked, is the Build-A-Figure between across one wave or multiple waves? It was Rand's son from Hasbro who had to pull up her phone and I think she pulled up one of the press releases to figure out like what it was. She was like, oh, I don't remember, and then she pulled something.
I remember hearing that discussion on Ant's live stream because whoever was initially asked the question wasn't sure if it was 5 or 8, and then she looked it up and it was like, yep, it's 8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She pulled up her phone. I was Ant was in front of me asking her, and I think Ant was the one asking her, and then I was behind her, so she pulled up her phone and was scrolling, and I'm just like, I hope I don't catch a glimpse of something that I shouldn't see. Like it's just like, oh, like here's, she brings up her phone and it's a pic of Scorponok, and then she goes to, and she'd be like, oh no, they're gonna kill me.
Only if they know you saw it, so just keep it yourself and everything will be fine.
I'm on the record saying I didn't see anything that I shouldn't have known about. Everything I saw, I was, as far as I know, in the right to see and hear and document and share with the lovely public. All right, so any other thoughts on this? Well, no, I just wanted to say, any other thoughts before we move along to Earthrise?
I can't wait for more figures to be seen from the Cyberverse Deluxes.
Yes, for real.
Same.
I'm very excited for what will inevitably be a Starscream, a Windblade, and then the rest are like. There's no way that we don't get those two. It's iffy what the rest could be. Probably a Grimlock. I would say.
Do if they go more than 2 waves, do a whole beast, a beast wave where you do Grimlock, Cheetor, Skybite, and Gnaw.
Oh yeah. You also have I can't remember her name. Is it Shadow Striker?
Shadow Striker.
Slipstream
Deserves a good Slipstream.
You could repaint Slipstream into what's the Nova Storm?
Nova Storm.
Acid Storm, Nova Storm. I was thinking Nova Storm because Nova Storm is probably my favorite out of the generic Seekers. Also Thundercracker.
And then
there's no Skywarp in the show, is there?
A regular Seeker body.
Yeah. Trying to think of who else. Like, there's designs for like Wheeljack or RC. A Drift or a Deadlock is very much a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is depending on how many waves they decide to do. But either way, Starscream, Windblade.
If it
maybe a Soundwave too.
Mm-hmm.
If it runs long enough, I feel like we could get everyone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just probably is going to depend a bit when people come out. Probably going to depend upon timing of
it's probably going to depend on timing in terms of when the show ends.
Yeah. I mean, we're at least getting season 3.
And a movie.
A movie, yeah. But I'm saying more so like what characters are going to be shown that would, if we were to try to predict who's coming out, could affect the numbers.
Lockdown.
Affect who could be coming out.
Lockdown, Clobber, or like depending on how significant they are in the new season.
Bludgeon may happen purely because I feel like he could be an easy retool from Megatron.
That is true. I didn't even think about that.
Mostly, and I know I made comments that like that Bludgeon looks basically like the RID Bludgeon.
Mm-hmm.
I also realized the specific details on his shoulder pads that go outwards are the same, if not very similar, to the ones that are on Megatron's shoulders. It's just those go backwards.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited. Please let there be a good Shadow Striker.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
She could use it. And Slipstream. I mean, like, I don't hate the Warrior Slipstream, but, like, we need a better Slipstream.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I'm currently rocking the Ultra class, and that's fine enough for me for right now, but I would be very pleased to get a good Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, deluxe.
Yep.
Agreed.
But yeah, so Earthrise. So let's just like recap everything that was revealed. So going bottom up. So smallest would be Sound Barrier, right?
Yes.
Who is the little battle master that turns into a shield and ramps. Who and that is someone that we hadn't seen before. Unlike the deluxe.
Then you have the Micromasters, Daddy-O and Trip Up, who we had seen.
Yeah. Daddy-O and Trip Up, which is, renamed Big Daddy. And then
Growl and Bomb Shock, the Decepticons who
Military.
were newly revealed.
Wait,
Yep.
which ones are they?
Growl and Bomb Shock.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about Growl. Yeah, so those, and then moving up, we have the deluxe, which we have Iron. What was it?
Ironworks.
Ironworks, yeah, which we'd already seen. Wheeljack, Cliff Jumper. Am I missing a deluxe?
Hoist.
Hoist. None of which we had seen before. Voyager.
Grapple and Starscream.
And Starscream, yeah, which we had not seen Starscream before. And then Leader Class, we are getting a repackage of Astrotrain, as previously mentioned, and then Optimus Prime, who we had seen, but now seeing there. Why don't you tell everyone what you asked, what was said about the hands?
Okay, so when we originally saw the renders for Optimus had blue hands,
like he should.
And the repair drone was blue, and there was a lot of blue inside of the trailer. Now, when we saw the sample that was on the in the diorama, the repair drone and parts of the trailer, along with the hands and parts of his legs, were gray. When asked about this, John Warden said that at some stage of development, the mold plan had changed, and in an effort to make more of the parts of the trailer gray, they unfortunately lost the blue on his robot mode, so his hands and parts of his legs are now gray. Why they decided to fix... And see, that's part of it. I don't know if there were other parts that maybe were blue in the CAD model, that when they went in and actually were futzing with it, they're like, oh no, in order to make this blue, we have to make this gray, which then cascades. So who knows? We really don't know. But unfortunately, and he did confirm that they were final colors, so Optimus will have gray hands. And given the fact that the way he said it, the hands are gang molded to parts of the trailer, it lends me to believe that it would at the very least be difficult for them to separate the essentially Voyager sized Optimus body separate from the trailer to maybe release later down the line as, say, a cell shaded version. That doesn't mean that they can't do a more expensive version that has more deco operation so that they could actually paint his hands blue. And that's something I thought of on the show floor. I'm like, oh, Takara Tomy would have just like figured it out and painted his hands blue. But we don't live in those times anymore. So unfortunately, Optimus will have gray hands.
But he has articulated finger. Well, a hinged hand.
He does. He does have hinged fingers to open his hands up.
Yeah.
And he did look really good in person.
Yeah.
Ignoring the hands.
Yeah, I can already see a third-party company making a set of blue hands for Earthrise Prime.
Well, the problem there is that his hands are pinned.
Oh yeah.
At the wrists, so swapping out the hands would be a bit difficult. The one thing is, you could probably very easily paint match the blue, and given the fact that his hands are gray, it wouldn't be that difficult to paint.
Yeah.
Nah.
And who knows? Maybe by the time that this comes out in March, or at least March, probably earlier than that, in like mid-February. I don't know months. We'll see a different, an updated deco. One of the things that we did see though is that through the whole, and I mentioned this before, the whole play pattern of this line is bases. Most figures at some way, shape, or form interact with the bases and the new airlock system, which allows you to plug the bases together. Grapples, I think it's part of Grapple's crane arm can become part of a base. Ironworks can become a base. Hoist can connect to bases. Sound barrier is a whole like base ramp system thing. Optimus's trailer can do that. A lot of these figures are very G1 accurate. G1 cartoon model accurate. That was something that John Warden specifically said that in one of the things they're striving for is cartoon model accuracy / faithfulness. They're trying to be faithful to the original animation models. What's interesting...
Optimus Prime's eyes yellow.
As far as sculpt, probably more than deco, I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
One of the and it's very evident when you see like Optimus. Starscream has a bit of that. Starscream also is, as I apparently coined, a classic Starscream. His and I when I was because I was there when they showed it off the Sci-Fi Wire interview. He has sculpting that's very specifically lifted from the Classics Deluxe, and there's a shot on Ant's Twitter from behind where the way that the cable is arranged, the front nose cone, the front of the nose cone is behind his head, like the classic Seeker mold, so you could probably fit it onto him like a hat. And that probably is to facilitate retooling it into a cone head so that the cockpit ends up in the same place.
Yeah.
And then once there was confirmation, just like the Classics toy, he has no waist swivel.
Yep.
I forget if it was Starscream. There was one figure where they explained that they tried putting a waist swivel and it just did not work.
I thought it was Starscream.
Yeah, I think it was Starscream.
I think it was I believe it was Starscream. The one thing I will say with both Hoist and Cliffjumper, or more so Cliffjumper, is Cliffjumper, at least in like the way he looks in robot mode, he's straight up what a Masterpiece Cliffjumper would have looked like if a Masterpiece Cliffjumper had come out during the Hisui Car era of Masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Not
like,
how the one that is leaked to be coming soon will probably look.
No, the one that's alleged to be coming soon will look like more like the Sunbow models, which makes me think that if we get a deluxe, or if and when we get a deluxe Bumblebee, he'll look like MP 25 or whatever he was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Hoist looks like a perfect in between of Hoist and Trailbreaker. Like that's gonna be Trailbreaker.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
But, though also, surprisingly, Wheeljack seems like it might be the Sunstreaker mold, too.
Right.
It really looks like it could be.
Which, and
Also,
I remember
he also
someone
may end
saying
up.
that explains why he has such tiny wings.
One thing that was asked on the show floor was, had Wheeljack won the fan vote, would he have been the box truck? And John Warden did say yes, but I feel like that's also kind of an easy answer to say. It's like, oh yeah, if we had done it, it would have been that. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
In like this hypothetical, sure, but like in reality, who knows? But
Yeah.
it is nice to see that between the end of Siege and the beginning of Earthrise, we now have a completed second of the 3 pairs that were part of that original fan vote for Siege. So,
Yeah.
fingers crossed we get Needlenose and Trax in. Maybe Trax at the end of this line and Needlenose at the beginning of the next one?
Yeah, maybe.
I would like
Yes.
In person, all of these figures looked amazing, I will say.
that. I'm still mainly jealous of you seeing Unicron. I feel
You know
like
what,
that's
actually-
the number one to see in person.
I mean, you know what? At the end, though, the thing I was most like, I wish, like, I'm kind of annoyed that can't be a real thing. Is all of the 3D printed pieces that they had to build the diorama. They had oil drums and like little like silo things and like garages. They had a whole like it was like a mountainside that opened up and like there was a road and that's where Optimus was coming out of. It was such a cool diorama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me want to buy a 3D printer and just build one myself.
Yeah. One thing I was admittedly surprised about when I saw the photos was how not chunky or chubby or chibi-fied Cliffjumper's car mode was.
They can't do that. I think, well, actually, no. They probably. I mean, I think that's again speaks to the fact that this very much is like. I have a feeling that, like, I wouldn't be surprised if we find out that Hasui was the one who designed this Cliffjumper, because it most likely came from his notes of like what he would have done if he made a masterpiece Cliffjumper. It's the same thing with Devastator. I believe Devastator came from his notes.
Oh, okay.
The Titan Devastator. They did mention the fact that one of the other things they were striving for was vehicle mode accuracy, as close they could get to making real G1 vehicles without having to license them.
Yeah. I mean, Wheeljack's looks near spot on.
Right. So I forget if it was they got a guy who was really good at like figuring out how to like put these different pieces of different cars together and still get them like as close as possible. One thing I would like to mention is the fact that most, if not all, of the toys in this line specifically use blue translucent plastic for their windows.
Huh.
Oh yeah.
Borrowing from that current trend for Masterpiece, to get that Sunbow look.
Interesting.
And less Greebles than Siege.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
But, I mean... Okay, now I'm thinking about it, and now I'm realizing how much Cliffjumper could have been from the Masterpiece design notes, because of the fact that he includes the water skis from that one episode where Wheeljack was like, "Hey, we need to go across the water. Let's incorporate water skis into everyone's bodies."
right, he's a Masterpiece figure or like the ideas of a masterpiece figure crammed in, not crammed, but then like scaled down to a deluxe figure, and then with whatever compromises you need there. Which, truth be told, is not that different from studio series. A lot of times, the similar thinking that goes into a masterpiece figure gets executed at the studio series mainline level, and from some reports that I've heard, sometimes more successfully than their movie masterpiece counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
So which of the different reveals that we've gotten, what is anyone leaning towards a favorite? I have a feeling we all know Michael's answer to this question.
You're actually wrong. Like, Wheeljack is very much a close second, but I have a G1 hoist, or a reissue, I should say. And boy, I'm just like, that's literally that toy I have on my shelf, but better, with joints, and not going to break shoulders because they're clear plastic.
And allegedly can tow Micromasters. That was something John.
Double Zarek is my favorite.
Toe back bit.
Double Zarek isn't part of what we talked about, so he doesn't count.
But he is. Like, he's a thing that was revealed there in that line.
You can't pre-order him.
But he still was a reveal there.
Only things that you can pre-order, Eric.
Out of the things that you could pre-order, I'd say that probably my favorite is Grapple, I think, or Ironworks. I think those are the two that I'm most excited for.
No love for Daddy-O, I see.
Well, if they had named him Big Daddy, no. I am very excited that one's getting made, but where's my tote, damn it?
No tote for you.
I love
Canyon Recon as tote. That's the best I'm gonna get.
I love that after the reveal of Daddy-O and Trip Up, I heard from 3 separate places mention of how at BotCons they asked about Big Daddy so much he rose through the ranks to be like one of the premier Micromasters, to the point of where they made the movie exclusive from like 2007.
Uh-huh.
And apparently, like, at the time, Aaron Archer made a big deal. Like, see, guys, we made Big Daddy. And everyone was just like, we didn't actually want Big Daddy. Like, this is a joke, but you did it.
It was Ant. It was Ant and his friends that started it, if I remember from his pre-show thing correctly.
Ant mentioned, like, Ant was, I mean, at that point, BotCon's a very small group, so Ant was amongst the people who, Ant apparently knows a specific person who kept asking for Big Daddy, but it's just known that, like, amongst the, like, people who went to those BotCons, like, oh yeah, we kept asking for Big Daddy, and then they made Big Daddy.
So it was like done with Headmaster RC, but like everyone.
But like,
and it was a joke.
But like trolling. Like,
yeah,
Headmaster RC was legit. Daddy-O or Big Daddy was trolling.
Yeah.
But Big Daddy got made
first.
Yeah.
Oh,
Eric,
wow.
You should ask Don how he feels about that.
I should, honestly. Oh gosh, that's so funny. I just never
How
even
come they made Big Daddy
thought
before
about
they made
that.
Headmaster RC? What happened there?
Look, Downshift was a perfect body to use.
What's everyone else's favorite though? Because like I said, Double Zarek was my favorite reveal, but out of the things that you can currently pre-order and that we've seen revealed completely, I would say that Grapple's probably my favorite.
Grapple looks great.
Seriously.
In person, Cliffjumper looked the best out of everything there.
I can't wait.
But Starscream also looked amazing.
I honestly, I think all of them look really good, and I am very excited for all of them. It's just that, I don't know, the fact that they managed to get the accuracy and the both modes looking so good on Grapple, I'm just very, very impressed and surprised that I like it as much as I do.
And then
And I can't
the
wait.
thing that doesn't show up in the promotional renders. I also didn't see where John Warden took this out of, but Grapple does have the missile hand.
Yes, I was very excited to see that.
Okay,
I don't know.
I didn't see the picture of that. I just knew that he probably had it because in the listing of the description of the toy from the official press release, it mentioned that he had 3 accessories. And
Right,
I
so
was
I don't
like,
know.
there's only
I
been
don't
2 in all
know.
the pictures.
I don't know where that extra accessory stores, but it is there.
Mhm.
Go on Ant's Twitter account at tfu_info, and you'll find the picture that I took. Or I
Yeah.
could send it to you now since I have the pictures. But
Wasn't there also an image? I'm not sure if this was from you, Miguel, but wasn't there an image of Grapple's claw being attached to Ironworks as the windmill?
I just saw people saying that that should be done. I didn't see any pictures of it actually done.
They did have that set up on the diorama. I forget if I have a picture of that.
I definitely remember seeing a photo of it. So it could have been from you. It may have been from somewhere else, but
I mean, I took pictures of tons of stuff. There's pictures I didn't put up that I like looking through my phone today. I was like, oh, I have like images of like the backs of all of the Cyberverse figures that I probably didn't put up.
ooh, I'd like to see those.
Yeah, you
I'll
should put
send-
those up because
Oh,
I would
yeah.
very much like to see that.
Same.
I don't have a good shot of Bumblebee's hand though, because someone asked, like, does Bumblebee actually have a hand, or is it just the stinger? And none of the angles I have
Does
show
it?
that.
It looks like he does in the renders, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't quite tell. It could go either way from how I've seen it.
I don't seem to have a picture of. Oh wait, no. Do I have a picture of Ironworks? Nope. I don't have a picture of Ironworks. I don't know where you saw that. The thing I wanted to mention now though is like, so if you army built Ironworks, I'm pretty sure you could make an oil rig like for more than meets the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought of that the other day. Like I think I was talking to a friend, and I thought, and like that came up in conversation. I was just like, "Damn it! I need a case of Ironworks now."
No, yeah, I was gonna say now you have no option.
Yeah.
What pictures was I looking for?
That's the Cyberverse.
Aside from that, what was the other one?
Bumblebee's hand and then the windmill on Ironworks.
I don't have the windmill and Ironworks. The gun hand for grapple. That's,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that one. That hand. I mean, I'm looking, but back on the Bumblebee, I'm looking at the render, and it looks like the Stinger has like is sort of groove. Like there's a bit that like juts down, and there's the forearm stuff coming to it. So I feel like that would be detachable.
Yeah, and it looks like you can actually see the bottom, like the pinky finger for his hand there. So
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right, Jared. That does look like the bottom of the. Yeah, that looks like a 5mm post. Yeah, Okay.
I'm assuming that it's gonna attach the same way that like the sword's attached for Studio Series Prime, where it just kind of like engulfs his hand.
Mm. That's definitely
Yeah.
possible.
Ooh, that. Yep. There be a grapple with the gun hand.
I mean, yeah, we watched him like. I missed where he got it from, but he was because I think someone asked, "He's like, oh, does he have like the gun hand?" He's like, "Oh yeah, sure." And I don't know where he picked the piece out from, but he flipped Grapple's hand around and then plugged it in.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah. A very nice touch from the Shockwave I forgot about was how he has the hose, which is one thing the Warrior version did not.
Mm-hmm. Did it look like it had ankle rockers?
I'm pretty sure that the Cyberverse figures all have the full suite of Siege articulation.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I think at this point we can suspect that everything but waist swivel is standard.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't have waist swivel, they'll probably have ab crunch, like Impactor. Actually, Impactor has ab crunch, and then he has like
He has
ab
chest
swivel.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like
Wrist swivel isn't always a guarantee.
No, that is true. That depends on how
That's
they
the
how
only
they
other
build.
one that where it's like I'd say that's probably like a 50-50 shot. I mean,
If they pin the hands, then you're out of luck.
Yeah. But yeah, it is all looking very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there was one thing I remembered thinking. I wonder if for the Voyager Classics Seekers, Conehead specifically, if instead of just like retooling the whole nose cone so it's stumpy, but it does form the full head, I wonder if they could, on this larger size, be able to do something where like you got the full length nose cone, but then you like open up the cockpit, pull the head out, and the head then has the nose cone.
So do a faux nose cone as the head?
Yeah.
Maybe.
it's a possibility. I kind of feel like they won't go that route, but I don't know.
I mean, truth be told, they may just borrow from the classics one and then just be like, all right, let's do it that. And then the one thing that's wild is like, so like I would be incredibly surprised if they don't do cone heads.
Yeah.
Starscream, like probably they'll do Skywarp and Thundercracker as well.
Yeah.
Canonically, if they want to do G1 cartoon like canon, it doesn't make sense to do the Rainmakers.
No.
However, because this is classic Starscream, that does mean that they could go back and homage every single version of the classic Seeker mold that ever came out.
Oh,
That's
Red Wing should be from this mold.
Yep.
If they do Acid Storm, I want to see the camo version from Universe.
Yep.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking too.
Ooh, yeah.
Sunstorm, they if they even wanted to do a deep cut, they could do two Sunstorms. One Sunstorm that's accurate, and then one Sunstorm that actually no, Sunstorm would have to be the Siege mold.
Oh yeah, that is true.
If they wanted to do Sunstorm from this mold, he would have to be the BotCon Sunstorm with the wrong forearms.
Yeah. I was wondering, my thought has been that it may, if they want us to do it again, it may be possible that there's another Seeker 3-pack set next year, but it's the welcoming committee, but would be the Rainmaker pack from BotCon 2013.
Oh yeah, well that's the welcoming committee.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would love it if they did the welcoming committee.
Yes.
Cone, like if anything, bare minimum, Coneheads, main Secret trio, welcoming committee.
Yes.
Good. Then you throw in your Siege Rainmakers, boom. And
Also, please, Slipstream, please.
Yeah.
make Nacelle. Just make Nacelle.
Yeah. I mean, they'll just basically do thrust. That could be a possible selects.
Oh no, doing like mishmashes of the different Selects could like this prints money with Selects. You can make every single Ghost
Please
Starscream.
do Delta Magnus before you do that, please. I'll buy every single Seeker, I promise, if you just give me Delta Magnus.
I'm wondering if they will, because again, it's only been 1 year, so it's going to be hard to judge. But looking back at what was released for Selects in Siege, there was only ever one leader figure. And either they're going to do one from Earthrise, or it's going to be Toy Colors Astro Train.
Ooh, what if they did Delta Magnus and gave him a new head? That was a better Magnus head.
I'd be mad.
Me too.
What will they retool Earthrise Optimus into?
I cannot even imagine. Like I'm just getting what I
A
just
lot
have.
of people are
guesses.
theorizing that it would be like a G2, right? The
Yeah, I
figure.
was
I've heard people say that. Why?
I don't know. That's what I was gonna ask that question. Everyone seems to be saying that, and I'm like, I don't,
like
I don't
it.
see it.
Like it would be like a crazy level retool, like almost to the point of like
Being
Scourge
toy?
and Blade in them, but like
Did
just make it a long nose truck and replace the trailer with a tanker truck, and then you got the Laser Prime, you got RID Scourge, you've probably got Toxitron out of that.
Just make it a different toy, and you can make all these different characters.
No, yeah, I agree. It's crazy but it's a little much.
did anyone
But-
ask why they're doing opening and closing hands?
I don't know if they did.
And is his gun 5? Like, could you tell if his gun is 5 mil? Like, how's the gun tab into his hand? Do you
I'd-
know? Did you notice?
I didn't ask. I'm imagining, and this is just like me spitballing. I would imagine that the way his hands molded, he probably has a groove that is 5 mm that you can like you could basically like fit it in, and you could have his hand open
while
but
holding something. Yeah,
while
that's
holding
kind of
it.
what I'm guessing.
wait.
Let me check my
Hold on.
photos.
Well, Miguel checks. I just figure out. I had a thought of like how you could possibly get the Laser Prime mold out of this Optimus,
Mm-hmm.
and I think my rationale was, you give it the long nose cab, and when it transforms, if I understand how this Prime transforms correctly, it then ends up on the backpack, which would be shaped and then end up kind of like how the top of the cab, the main part of the cab, ends up on the back of that toy. And then you have those extra shoulder bits, which you would either fold behind the truck or like fold on top of the truck to like give the truck a little more on the top. And then everything else would be basically straightforward, and then you just like change the top. I mean, you do have to redo most of the trailer, but you could probably like keep that lower flat level as well as the wheels. And honestly, if they are able to pull what I'm thinking off, it's not too far removed from the difference between Ultra Magnus and Galaxy Prime, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it's theoretically possible. I'd be shocked if it happened, but I'd be pleased if it did. Literally the only other thing I could think of coming out of that mold would be like Thunderclash, and also retool the trailer a lot to
a brand new Magnus. They make an Earthrise Magnus.
Yeah, just another Magnus.
I'm gonna be honest. No. What if they did Delta Magnus? Like that's how they it's a mainline release, and they don't do Ultra Magnus. They do Delta Magnus. It's a completely different mold from the Siege Ultra Magnus.
It looks exactly like his original '86 toy.
And then they do a Selects Ultra Magnus.
Out of that, yeah, I'm imagining that would be honestly.
From the pictures I have, it looks like what I described is correct. Prime
has a groove that you can
has like his hands molded where you can just slide it in and then close his fist.
Did anyone ask if we can expect more stuff like Cybertron Hotshot and Galaxy Prime?
I probably would have been the only. I probably would have been one of two people to ask that, and I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't think so. I would say that just because this type of information does start to trickle out later on, because people remember, oh right, we heard this thing at like Toy Fair or something.
Yeah.
Or NYCC at this case, it wasn't Toy Fair. do check out BWTF, Unicron.com, T-Formers. The TFW guys don't seem to be posting anything. Sabertron, TFU_info. I don't know who else was there. Any of those outlets should, like, between all of them, you'll get a pretty holistic view of like what it was like that day, and like get as much of the information as possible. There was a lot to go through that day, and hopefully, like, maybe if there's any tidbits that I missed, some of those other outlets picked them up.
Mm-hmm.
As far going back to the Siege Wave 5 stuff, none of us had a black light on us that day, so we can't confirm any of the codes from the packaging.
I feel like looking back, it would be like, man, why did no one bring a blacklight? But at the same time, like, I totally 100% understand why no one would think to bring a blacklight.
I mean, I in like retrospect, I was like, why didn't I bring this figure with me? Why didn't I bring this figure with me?
Yeah.
Like a bunch of stuff. Like I almost brought a Siege Optimus with me to put have them put next to this one. I didn't.
Yeah.
Even though there was a Siege Optimus in the room, like they could have just taken the cell shaded one, moved it over to the other table.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting to see.
We didn't think to ask, unfortunately. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Earthrise. Everything looked really, really nice in person. I'm not sure at what level of production most of those figures were. A lot of them may have been. Some of them were the samples that probably were in final plastic or in like the first like plastic color samples.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one thing that was funny was someone commented on one of Wheeljack's tampos. He's got like arrow bolt or something on his.
Yeah, Aerobolt.
Yeah, which I don't know. Is that a reference to something?
I don't know why my mind had immediately gone to thinking about how Beast Machine's Jetstorm was supposed to be called Skybolt initially, but then I'm like, wait, that's not right.
Aerobolt was the weaponizer minicon that combined with Optimus.
Yeah, from RID. That was Prime's partner.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, someone commented just like, "Oh, Aerobolt," and then I think it was John Warden's like, "Yeah, like in G1, it's always been that." a bit cheeky about the fact that like, yeah, they try to at the very least homage the tampos, even if they or the old stickers and like sponsorships, even if they can't.
I get it, because he was the Italia licensing he had was for an airline.
Right.
So they made it a transformer that flies. Aha.
I forgot that the minicons from that season of Robots in Disguise were called weaponizers. God, they just keep reusing words.
Yep.
But yeah, Siege Wave 5, Earthrise Wave 1. Hopefully, I mean, Hasbro had, I think, three other conventions on their docket for this year, so hopefully we'll see a bit more of, well, we seem to have confirmation that we'll see more from BotBots. Probably maybe a little bit of Studio Series here and there. Maybe they'll throw in a sprinkle of Earthrise Wave 2. But truth be told, we probably won't see much, if anything, for the rest of much of anything for the rest of the year, which means we may be in somewhat of a drought until Toy Fair in February.
Mm-hmm. Unless there's a conference, like a that thing that they've done before.
I won't be around until after October is over.
I'm just curious, just a little tangent. Do you know if there were any? I knew that there were a couple, not many, but Marvel Legends and Black Series reveals. Were there any Lightning Collection reveals?
No,
None at all.
no. It was us, the Marvel people, and did you say there was one other? Oh, Black Series.
Yeah, Black Series had a couple.
Well, Black Series, if I remember right, had a proper panel at New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
The Marvel stuff and the Transformers stuff was just at the Hasbro thing that day. Which we were not a part of the Marvel Legends stuff. It was around. But yeah, pretty much sums up NYCC, the events and everything.
What was your favorite thing seeing?
I really liked having getting to see the Siege display. The Siege. I keep saying it. The Earthrise display in person, but I think it has to go to Unicron. Seeing Unicron in person, I can't stress it enough that pictures do not in any way give a good impression of how big that thing is.
Mm-hmm. Imagine if you had gotten to feel how heavy it was.
Oh no, that just no.
I just can't even imagine the day where we have it in hand.
I can't imagine what the box is going to look like whenever.
I'm genuinely. That's one of the things I'm most curious about is what the packaging is going to be like,
and what the box they're going to use to ship it inside of.
I hope that at a TFCon or something, there's just someone replicates a bunch of something akin to the Dinobot can from last year's in Chicago. But with Unicron. Just imagine a bunch of Unicrons dabbing. some stupid thing like that.
Dab on the Matrix bearers.
But yeah, so if that's about it for New York Comic Con, do we want to move into what we got this week? Because some of us did get the New York Comic Con exclusives, the Chromar and Hot Shot.
They weren't exclusives. They debuted at New York Comic Con.
That's what I meant by the exclusive.
And then
they're Entertainment Earth exclusive. I mean, no, they're fan channel exclusives, right? They're select, so they're fan channel exclusives.
They're fan channel exclusives.
But yeah, they were released for.
They debuted at Entertainment Earth's booth at New York Comic Con, and then they were up by 5 p.m. that same day. They were, or the next day.
And everyone was terrified that Hot Shot wasn't going to get put up because only Chromar was put up originally, right away.
But the only thing that Entertainment Earth has had it as an exclusive was the pins.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Which I was kind of that's kind of why I wanted to go in the line to grab them and everything, but then the stupid line was cut off, and it didn't. Honestly, it didn't seem like it moved much at all. The thing that was annoying was Entertainment Earth had a lot of Funko Pop exclusives. So that's part of the reason why they were so jam packed, from what I saw.
Okay, that makes sense.
That'll do it.
Mm-hmm. Jared and I know that.
Yeah.
Jared, your brother's really into Funko Pops, isn't he? Or am I making that up? Or is it no? Justin, I don't think it's your brother. I think it's your brother and my mutual friend that does. Unless your brother does too, I don't know.
No, he doesn't really. Well, he probably looks at them, but he doesn't buy them.
Okay, our one mutual friend, his name's Ryan. He's super into them. I just realized that since I have 3 Funkos I'm going to put up for sale, that maybe I should ask Ryan first. Yeah. But yeah, so Miguel, you weren't able to snag those. Did you order them off of Hasbro Pulse, or?
They're downstairs.
Oh, okay, so you did order them. Okay, cool.
I ordered them. Oh yeah. I can't comment on a lot of the. Well, I mean, Some of the stuff I have, I can't comment on. Some of the stuff I have, I've already commented on at length on our Twitter account. So just to run down like a rapid fire of what I've received within the past like week. All of Siege Wave 5. Thank you, Hasbro. Omega Supreme. Thank you, Amazon. Omega Supreme is amazing.
I need Omega Supreme to be stocked on Amazon. Please.
Who else did I get? Impactor. Fun.
Oh my god, so good.
Siege Barricade. Beautiful in person.
Oh my god, yes.
Mirage. Really fun transformation. Really nice robot mode.
Yes.
Terrifying clear plastic.
Yeah, weird legs.
Weird, but
and not in a
interesting.
good way.
Well, weird. I like his legs. I just wish
so
they
do
weren't
I.
clear.
They're weird in like in an uncomfortable, but like they're still interesting. Like you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Who else did I receive? Impactor, Smokescreen, not as good as
Blue Street,
Blue Street. No,
Prowl, Barricade.
Barricade. Blue Streak I didn't open.
But you did get and Sound
I
Blaster,
did
right?
get and Sound Blaster, who both look great. What else did I get? Sound Blaster. Well, Chromar and Hot Shot, who I haven't opened, and then the one thing I'll talk a little bit about. I think I've mentioned, or at the very least, I may have mentioned this recently that like I've hit the point now where for Nemesis Primes, I really only have those like weird ones, like the rare ones or the ones that are just a bit more uncommon to find. That I haven't been able to. I have left to pick up. I picked up 3 recently. I believe I talked about the legendary. It was on the show that I opened the legendary Bumblebee movie Optimus Redeco in Nemesis colors. That was a 7-Eleven exclusive. So I got that. Then the other 2 that I picked up recently. One is the animated exclusive Nemesis or Black Optimus Prime from Takara Tomy. That I forget how it was originally released, but only 500 of them were made.
Oh wow!
So I have one of those, sealed, in box. I haven't opened it yet. I don't think I'm going to open it. The other one, which probably now I think about it, probably is rarer, honestly. At the very least, is older. Is the Takara Tomy, Takara Tomy, I think, at that point. Micron Legend Scourge. This is the Bendy Prime mold. So the Armada Optimus Prime Deluxe mold that, or Supercon? Or is that what the Deluxes were called?
Yeah.
Is Michael still here?
Deluxe. Yeah, it was the Deluxes
What
were.
was the Deluxe class called during Armada?
Yeah, it was SuperCon.
Okay. It's the Supercon Optimus mold, Bendy Prime. It in the US he was released as Nemesis Prime and done up in like kind of like a beige plastic and everything. In Japan he was an exclusive and was done up pretty much in straight Scourge colors, so he had a lot of grays and dark blacks and everything, and teal. I picked that up off of Mandarake, and that showed up today. The outer box was open, but the inner like cardboard and like clamshell that the Nemesis Prime was, or Scourge was on, was sealed though. So I freshly opened it and everything, because when I got it out, the twist ties were all corroded. So I was like, I want to get these off before it like starts like fusing with the plastic or something. Like it was all brittle. And almost everything I've opened from that era has been that brittle, and it's really really bizarre. But he looks amazing. I'm so happy to have that. I need to find the clear plastic dark saber though, because that's supposed to be like the Vorpal sword or whatever that he had. But he looks beautiful. I love that mold so much. And that about does it. If you want to hear, or if you either want to read any of the firsthand accounts of the Siege Wave 5 figures, please check out our Twitter accounts at Steel City Bots on Twitter, or hit either that Twitter account up or me directly at Logos Minor if you want to any questions answered on them, or maybe more specifically if you want to see them, any of those figures up against like comparison shots with other toys that I may have. I have a pretty extensive, primarily Generations collection, so if there's anything you're like, oh, I want to see this character with this character, like I got it. There is a picture up of the scavengers before people start asking us to like pile up all the the officially released Generation scavengers. Like I have, pretty sure I have all of them. There's a picture up there.
We should put those on the Instagram too. I just realized that we don't have them up there.
We we should probably put all those pictures on the Instagram.
Yeah.
It's gonna take forever.
We can do it.
All right.
But yeah, and again, thank you very, very much for doing that, Miguel, and also a very big thanks again to Ant, and also the people from Hasbro, who allowed him to Ant to bring Miguel, but in particular for allowing Miguel to come help out with his stuff, and then also post some of the stuff for Steel City Bots. Really kind of you, and just again, like it's a really cool thing that we get to be a part of that. Not a whole lot of people do. It's a very unique experience. So
it was weird also because like some of the people, like a lot of the people there, like I mentioned this to Ben Yee. I was just like when I like met him, shook his hand or whatever. I was just like a big fan of your site. Like your site was pretty much the first fan site that I found that led me down this dark path. Like his site, I remember struggling with the dial-up that we had at the time, trying to get like pages, like episode synopses of Beast Machines to load, so I can understand what happened, because I didn't get what Beast Machines was. Like the age of 9, I'm like, I had to find out what this cartoon was all about. And his website, probably a story for another day, but the circumstances at which I found his website were very interesting. Like very like for that time, like someone had to write the URL down in like a notebook for me, and then I had to go home and find it.
Wow.
Like we're sharing of a website by word of mouth, and a very interesting time where now it's just like you just link someone to it. But yeah.
All right. Well, going off of the stuff that you got, I also did. I mean, I got a whole bunch of Star Wars stuff. No, but Transformers. I did just today, actually. By chance, I happened to snag the Wave 4 Deluxes, all three of them, Barricade, Mirage, and Impactor. Mirage, I'm very glad, has all of his weapons complete. His legs are cool engineering, but weird and a little frightening with the clear plastic, although I think that they'll be fine, just like Prowl is. Speaking of Prowl, Impactor is literally the Wave 4 Prowl, because in photos I thought he looked atrocious, and then in hand, oh my goodness, he's so good. He looks so much better, and then just the toy itself is so fantastic. As you mentioned, he doesn't have waist swivel, but he does have like the equivalent of, he has a torso swivel. It's just higher up, right above the abs, and then he does have ab crunch, which is just And I love how his shoulder cannon doesn't. It's not just a part slapped on there. It's actually like permanently attached to him and swivels for the alt mode, and also the tank can swivel both the turret up and down and the turret like left and right all the way around, which is a major plus. Really, really just I've loved this toy. One thing I will say is that the yellow paint on his chest and head don't match up with the yellow plastic, but that yellow paint is also other places on him, like a little bit or above his crotch and a little bit in the yellow plastic on his legs. So like, it's not as weird as you would think, but it is a little strange when you notice it. I also happened to get in the mail today Generation Select's Chromar, who's good. He really looks like he was just a GoBot head sculpt, I think. It's just really how it looks to me. It just literally looks like it is part of GoBots. And then he's very much awesome looking with G2 Sideswipe, I'm just saying. Oh, I forgot Barricade. Barricade's awesome. That's all I need to say about Barricade. Barricade's fantastic. He has clear purple plastic, and therefore I love him. And then I also got, speaking of Barricade, Select's Smokescreen, who's very good. I like that he has the rifle and the shoulder cannons. It's good to have both. I wish I had all of the versions of this mold, but Walmart lost my order for Sound Blaster and Blue Streak. So if anyone sees that pop up anywhere, let me know, because I need those, and Blue Streak is my favorite out of all of them. So I'll be sad if Blue Streak is the one out of all of them that I don't get. But I'm sure that at some point I'll be able to. And then last but certainly not least, Cybertron Defense Hotshot. Oh my god. I'm so happy this toy happened. This toy is extremely satisfying. Now, I really would like an upgrade kit that has his shank and then, like correct 2 guns and that kind of stuff. But just the toy itself, it's such a good mold. Like, the Hound mold is excellent. And then just these colors with this head sculpt, it's just, like I said, satisfying is definitely how I would describe this toy. So, yeah, I think that's about it for all I got. Jared, did you get the selects or no?
I did not, but I do have two other little things. But
Coolio, what'd you get this week?
First off, I got animated Lockdown. It's the Blazing Lockdown. I think it's really golden. Yeah, found him on eBay, and I decided, I don't own the mold. I'll pick him up since he was cheap for like $20 or something like that. But yeah, really cool. But the main thing I got was the next component for Iron Factory's DJD, which is their Helix. And this thing is solid as a rock. Like, all the joints are nice and, again, solid. And the combined mode bits can't really combine anything, of course, but yeah, just another solid figure from Iron Factory. Mm-hmm. And I cannot wait for the last big boy to show up.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that was whenever I was doing my Big Bad Toy Store order. I had him in my cart, and then I took him out because I bought other stuff that brought my total up. So I took him out, and I'm like, okay, TF gone purchase. Like, I'm getting him for sure because I have the other I have the 3 Iron Factory DJDs that are out, and like, he looks so good. How is the articulation in his hands?
Fully articulated.
Like every knuckle of every finger.
Like at
how many knuckles per finger?
One knuckle, like, can do.
So he has 2 joints in his fingers, is what you're saying?
Yeah, 2 joints in his
so
fingers.
that's 2 knuckles. The base is still a knuckle. That's the primary. That's the primary knuckle. So yeah, so he has 2 knuckles. So not 3 like humans do, but 2. Hey, I am more than willing to accept 2. Plus, that's just how his hands are.
But the combined mode hands have like are fully articulated with 3 knuckles and everything.
Oh wait, the combined mode hands are different hands. I kind of thought that they would just be the same hands.
Oh no, they
Oh, they come
pop up.
out. Oh wow. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
and
I'm
then
psyched for him. I wish that Helix would be out by the. I know that it's impossible because it's only a few weeks away, but that Helix would be out by the time of TFCon, so that way we could combine the DJD at TFCon. But alas, it was not meant to be.
nah.
Oh, but speaking of which, I did just want to remind everyone that we will be going to TFCon. Everyone except Michael, that's here, will be at TFCon, and Zeus will also be at TFCon. And then also, if you listen to Awesome Asylum, John Darth Forge on Twitter will also be there. So if you see us, say hi. We should be on the podcast panel. In fact, I actually just picked up some stuff that'll be giveaway for the channel, some stuff that'll be giveaway for TFCon. So I'm not going to say what I got yet because I'm not sure what's going to what giveaway, but I did get several things, actually. More than I even told you guys. I actually got 2 more things after I sent the stuff that I sent to our chat. So... Yeah, got some giveaway goodies. So keep your eyes peeled. I mean, definitely go to the podcast panel. That's specifically the second one, the roundtable, the one that ends the con, that we do the raffling off the stuff. If you go, there's a solid chance that you'll get something. So I highly recommend for those who are going to TFCon DC to stick around till the end. And also, just keep an eye around on our channel and social media and stuff for the giveaways we do with us. Sorry to get into that. Michael. Jared, is that everything that you got?
Yeah.
Michael, what'd you get?
Okay. Going over things that were already discussed. I got some.
You need to talk about Hotshot at length though, because you deserve to.
Yeah, okay, I will. Let's just start with what I got last week by how I do my Instagram posts. I have obtained Smokescreen. I got him, and then 2 days later, I got a shipping notification.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that Smokescreen had been billed. Whenever I was just like, oh, I knew that Hotshot and Cromar should show up, but I was not expecting Smokescreen.
Yeah. But he's great. I love the colors. I love the shoulder missiles. And then with Blue Streak, because I also got Blue Streak, I went back to look at the models, the cartoon, and see if having them stand up or be lower would be better. And it's lower, and I'm like, they designed those missiles to be compatible both with the G1 look and a season 1 look and a season 2 look, and I'm like, that's great, that's awesome. I think Blue Streak at the moment is my favorite use of the mold.
Yeah, why don't you make me jealous? Okay.
Yeah, I do not own Barricade yet. I did not get Barricade yet, so I
deal with it.
Hey, I'm the one with the Blue Streak here.
Shut up. Don't remind me.
And of course, I also got Sound Blaster with Blue Streak.
How's your chest?
Very nice.
Have you put
very
both in
big?
The both
cassettes? Yeah, it does fit both.
That's so cool. I love that.
The colors are really nice. They're so nice. It's beautiful. Unfortunately, still holds the battle damage from the sound wave mold, so his chest is all scratched up and whatnot. But you know what? It's probably fine. He probably gets into a lot of scripts. Honestly, I don't know why I keep headcanoning Sound Blaster as a minion of Unicron. It just makes sense to me,
Interesting. Also, fun fact, just random side note, because I just thought about it. If you like Star Wars and follow the Black Series, they did reveal that Best Buy has an exclusive IG-11. That's going to be the assassin droid in the series for The Mandalorian, because I just thought I'd mention that since it seemed to slip under most people's radar, and the fact that Best Buy isn't exactly a huge store, so a huge toy store. They are upping their game and stuff, but just kind of surprised me. Just thought about it.
Yeah. Anywho, I also picked up the Off-Road Patrol, who are the truck and the van. I can't remember their names. Powertrain and I feel really bad. I forget.
Oh, I thought tiny robots were your favorites. Okay.
High Jump and Powertrain. There we go. And I mean, they're neat. They're fine. I already know how the molds work because I got the mini content pack and the same molds were in there. They're neat. That's all I'll say. What's more neat to me is I found someone selling a scatter spike, an RID 2015 scatter spike on eBay for $20 shipped.
Oh god, I'm so jealous of that.
And I'm like, yes.
That's so much better than it normally is.
Yeah. The colors are nice. Unfortunately, my copy does seem to have a few QC issues. The left hand loves popping off. Some of the tolerances feel weird, especially when transforming. It's a lot more of a pain than it should be, and I have the Quillfire mold, so I know how it works. So that's slightly disappointing, but I don't care because my headcanon in it is in the positive universes. Scatter Spike is presented as the Bard of Darkmount, but Straxus is the one writing the play still. To be, a reference to how people think, oh, Shakespeare didn't write his stuff. It had to be someone that was actually educated in crap. And I'm like, no, it didn't have to. But in this case, I'm just supporting that theory because, canonically, Straxus in Shattered Glass universe is the Bard of Darkmount. So I'm like, how can you keep that making sense? Even though Scatter Spike is the perfect name because Scatter, Spike, Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I even with the issues, I'm still like, Scatter Spike was great. It was worth the wait. Well, sure. And that's all I got that I posted on Instagram about because I was doing a weekly update if there is something that week. But today, I did get Chromar and Hotshot from Pulse. You are right. Just Chromar is Chromar. He is a Power Dasher, and he's going to go with the other Power Dashers.
I need that 3-pack to come out. It's like really bothering. I don't know why, because normally I can be patient for teams to be finished, but like I don't like having two of the Power. It's not because I love the Power Dashers so much. It's like I want to be done with the Power. I like them. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. No, yeah, it is for sure. But yeah, I also kind of can't wait for Aragon just to like get the team together. But
yeah, exactly. Like I feel like it'll
the
just be
impactor
really satisfying.
I'm not going to get the regular retail impactor because I'm like I don't need both.
Because you want the Decepticon one.
Well, I'm going to stick an Autobot badge over that.
Yeah, I know. You just want the IDW head.
Yes. I'll still get the regular release Mirage though because that's not a hologram.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's more of a difference there. It's not just like an alternate head sculpt and paint apps. It's like an actually completely different ball game. Even though there is clear blue plastic on the regular Mirage.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's definitely a different ball game. But Hotshot, like you said, is great. The Hound mold is great. Robot mode feels weird to me just because I'm like, Hotshot doesn't have a car for a chest. Hotshot's got bigger shoulders, etc., etc. Vehicle mode, it works surprisingly well. Honestly, if it just like came with something, the biggest complaint I have is that in vehicle mode, there aren't 5mm ports spaced evenly near the back. Besides the ones on the side, like on the top, I'm talking about. There aren't evenly spaced 5mm ports, so you could take Hound's gun and put them on there, and it looks like he's got the two guns in vehicle mode. So this is my grievance. I do very much hope there is an upgrade kit for him. Hopefully not F does it, but I'm very glad to have another Cybertron rep. And the last thing I got, I'm very, very excited about because, long story short, I ended up going ways away from where I was, and I knew the Walmart nearby carried the G1 reissues. My closest Walmart does not, and I'm like, I might as well stop in if I'm up this way because last few times they weren't there. There was one G1 reissue Soundwave left, and I'm like, yes, yes. And I'm just so happy I finally have the G1 Soundwave. Now to figure out where to get a G1 wheeljack. Complete. Yeah, he's great. I am very pleased to have him. The buttons work fine, great. The transformation is funky and fresh. Well, not really, but like, you know what I mean. The weapons are cool. Buzzsaw is great. I didn't even know the wings transformed the way they did. I didn't know they came out as far as they do. That's cool. Also, the detail on the sides of the legs that was actually replicated in the cartoon. I was like, oh, I just thought they were just being fancy with those like feet details. No, that was actually on the toy. That's very nice. The only unfortunate thing I can say are the stickers, especially. I mean, even the ones that were applied before that were factory applied. The one on the left leg always. It's even coming off right now because it bends around a corner, and then the one knee that I had to sticker is liking to come off a bit. So that's unfortunate, but they're holding for now. Maybe eventually I'll have to get a sticker set from Toy Hacks, but for now it works. And again, very pleased. I've got this. I wanted to be quick. I didn't mean to ramble on so much about everything.
It's all good. That's why it's at the end. But
yeah, I was like, okay, I'm just going to like say everything I got, quick line or two, and now I'm just like, okay, well, there's like half a paper on Soundwave. And Scatter Spike. No, the three of them make up a full term paper.
There we go.
Yeah. Anywho, that's all I got.
Coolio. So yeah, I think it's fair to say that it's been a good week.
Yeah.
Definitely, like I said before, stay tuned because we are going to be doing some giveaway stuff. Also, if you're going to TFCon, again, say hi if you see us because, you know, it's always nice to talk to people and, you know, just say hi and stuff. Other than that, you can check out all the photos that we have, and we'll definitely be doing more posts. I was going to say that it's been fairly active lately, it's because of, you know, recent events. But at Steel City Bots on Twitter, and then definitely Instagram as well. And then definitely follow at Nerdy Geek Talk on Twitter, because you'll be notified whenever podcasts go up. Which again you can subscribe to by subscribing wherever you listen to podcasts. Not iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, more, all that stuff. Nerdy Geek Talk, subscribe, and you'll get all of our shows. You will definitely want to stay tuned for, we're going to be doing a bit of a, not a rebranding, but a refreshing, sort of like what Michael did at with the Soundjack stuff on his channel and everything. We're going to be doing something similar to that, so definitely stay tuned. Personally, you can find me at Eric Crownover, at Eric Crowbar on Twitter, and at Aramis Prime on Instagram. I will be posting to my Instagram if you go to check out my Instagram. Actually, I did recently. This has nothing to do with Transformers or anything. I recently actually completed the Triple Atomic Challenge at Quaker Steak and Lube, which I have to admit, as someone who like eats ghost peppers, like I'm not like I like hot, crazy, insane hot stuff. That's, you know, insanely painful because I'm a maniac. But that challenge was harder than I expected. It wasn't like I can't do this, but it was hard. So, but I got a T-shirt and I ate 6 of those wings, all the way to the bone and everything. So, yay! Happy about that. Jared, that one chip challenge.
Yes.
We need to do that. Jared they made a second. I did the one chip challenge before, And Jared, my brother and I both did it, and Jared and Tanner both watched and thought it was very funny because it was. We were dying. It is very hard. They came out with a second version, so Jared actually bought that, and we're going to do that. So stay tuned. We'll video that, and I promise I'll post it. If I don't post it to the Steel City Bots Twitter, I'll at least post it to mine and retweet it from the Steel City Bots Twitter. So you can definitely join in on the fun. Yeah, so I think that's about it for me. Michael, besides at RDSJ Gaming on Twitter and YouTube, where can people find you?
Oh, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at SoundJack426. My YouTube channel features reviews as well as my Soundjack Rambles podcast. Instagram is where I put photos of my toys. Twitter is where I hang out, so come on by and say hi. I will briefly bring up the RDSJ Gaming again because just due to issues with the previous playthrough, we're going to have to put it on a hiatus for a bit, and we're just going to play some Minecraft until Pokemon Sword and Shield come out and start playing that on the channel. So you should definitely check it out. It was my first time playing Minecraft by myself. And also, I have a coffee account properly set up now, and I am taking commissions for toy photography. I have adjusted my prices recently. I am doing 4 photos for $5, 10 photos for $10, and a comic in my 4-panel comic style that I have up, and I've been putting photos on Twitter. I need to catch up with Instagram and coffee per se, but those will be for $15 a piece, and if you want to do like a multi-part thing, each additional one would be $10. So go check that out. Help support me, help support the channel, especially since I am no longer working at Target.
Which is good for you.
Yes, it's very good for my mental health, but not so good for my wallet.
Yes, that is true. Miguel, I think we know what you've been up to on social media, but where can people find you?
He's asleep.
Yeah.
I don't. It's almost 1.
That is fair. All right, at Logos Minor, and it's okay. He's earned his sleep because he's worked very hard this past weekend, and like I said before, I really, really do appreciate it. It definitely means a lot for the network and everything, to have done that, had that opportunity, which I got to do myself at HasCon, but to be invited by Ant and everything, really cool. Really glad that we could have that opportunity come, and Miguel work hard to make it worthwhile. So yeah, awesome. Jared, where can people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter at dreadprime_. That's where I'm at basically all the time. And you can also find me on Instagram at jarpro00. That's where I do my night bots, where I take a picture of one of my figures with a backlight and say some turkey stupid one-liner.
All right. Well, I think that is about it for this episode. If you excuse me, I'm going to go draw the new podcast art. Wait, what? Oh, goodbye.